I had one of my favorite catcalling experiences in San Francisco. I know I shouldn't have a favorite, but one of my favorite ones was a couple years ago, and this man yelled, "Hey, you look like a female Clark Kent." Not really a compliment, and I hate street harassment, I hate catcalls, I don't feel safe, and so I don't respond. But in this particular instance, he was making a comic book reference and he was getting something wrong, so I had to correct him. And so first of all, like I'm Superman, Clark Kent. He is a 6'4" burly man. I'm a 5'3" woman with body dysmorphia issues. I don't want to be compared to a giant oaf. No, thank you. Secondly, obviously, more of a Marvel fan than DC. And thirdly, and most importantly, I felt like he was really getting something wrong. So what I said, "Oh, technically, sir," technically, when you say that I look like a female Clark Kent, you're making a little bit of a mistake, because Superman didn't identify as Clark Kent. He identified as Superman, or Kal-El, obviously. And so when you say you look like a female Clark Kent, you're saying you look like an alien that came to Earth, but not you look like the alias, the secret identity of an alien that comes to Earth and is just trying to fit in and doesn't know how, just like really wants to somehow like do good and help people and make the world a better place, but keeps slightly fucking it up. And that's actually a very accurate catcall. I got kind of a scary one just a couple days ago, and it made me super mad because I was wearing my huge winter coat that goes all the way down, and no one ever deserves to feel catcalled or unsafe in any way, and I'm not saying that, but I am saying that I was just like really mad because I was like, the guy said, I would destroy your ass. And I know it's scary, right? And I was just like, how can you even fucking see it? How do you know I even have an ass? Maybe it's just like a ponytail going down there. And it made me mad. It made me mad that I was like wearing my giant poofy winter coat, and I was like, oh, what can I possibly do? So I think tomorrow what I'm gonna do when I have to walk down that same street is I'm just gonna wear like my full tampon costume, paint my face red, and carry a knife. I hope that helps. Some of my jokes might sound like I hate men because they're funny, but I don't hate men. People just assume that I do because I'm so smart. I actually do love a couple, and I have a brother, and that's about it. No, I'm just kidding. I do love my brother, though. My big brother is my favorite person. Every day I'm so grateful that I didn't eat him inside the womb. Mostly because he's 2 years younger than me. And I think that would have been extra creepy. I read an article recently that said that the taller you are, the shorter your life expectancy will be. And I was like, damn, babies are gonna live forever. I've been getting trolled a lot online, which is, annoying because it's not underneath a bridge, which was every little girl's dream. And this guy, I put up a YouTube video a couple of years ago, and just a few weeks ago, he took the time to write a paragraph of criticism in the comments of this YouTube video. And it was kind of offensive. What he did was, in the criticism, he removed all of the S's from his spelling and used THs instead of S's. Right? So for those of you that didn't figure it out, I have a lisp. And if you don't know what I'm trying to tell you when I say that I have a lisp, it's because whoever put an S right inside the word lisp has ruined my life. I can't say the one word. That would explain what my speech impediment is. I don't like like to think of it as a speech impediment. I like to think of it as an accent from a fairy realm. And so this guy, he thought he replaced all of his S's with THs in his heckle of me. And gosh, like at first I was like, oh, that's so mean. And then I was like, or this guy is so dumb. He thinks that's how I read too. I've had my lisp my whole life. I went to about 15 years of speech therapy, and I quit in college. I was on a date with this really pretty woman, and she was like, "Oh, you should keep your lisp." And I was like, "Okay, no." And she said, "I actually like lisps. I think that your lisp sounds very sexy." And I was like, "Why?" A lisp literally means I do not know how to use my tongue. Now, true, pretty okay at it. I can mouth the alphabet. I met a 21-year-old homophobic person recently, and I think a 21-year-old homophobe is kind of like a cassette tape. Because who the fuck is still making those? I'm trying to get better at karaoke. It's really fun. I love it. Yeah, but sometimes at karaoke places, they don't have the type of songs that I like to sing, like my favorite kind of music. And so I was hoping I could do a little bit here for you all. Yeah, it's kind of like a duet. It's kind of like a triple duet, so I might need a couple volunteers to help me out. You don't have to get up here. Does anybody, raise your hand if you would like to volunteer to help me? I won't touch you. Yes, one. And one in the back. Great. Okay, what's your name? Rick. And in the back, what's your name? Krista. Thank you. Thank you both so much for volunteering. So my favorite song that they never have at any karaoke places is, you know in horror movies when like two little girls are like singing Ring Around the Rosie? And they're like wearing like Victorian dresses on like a windy moor? That's my favorite kind of music. And so if you both feel comfortable singing that, I'm gonna be the wind. Do you feel comfortable with that, Rick? You'll give it a shot. Krista, you still on board? Actually, you can all do it. You can all do it so that they don't feel so pressured. But like the little girl part is like, just like try to like sound like you like died like 30 years ago. If you can get that vibe. Okay, so I'm going to start you all off with the Ring Around the Rosie part, and then I'm going to come in as the wind. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Ring around the rosie. Good job, everybody! That was amazing! We should all go to karaoke together. My period recently synced up with one of my best friends, Kate Aguilar. She's also a comedian. You might have seen her perform. And when I was like, oh, my period just started, and then she said, oh, my period just started too. And I said, oh, cool, we synced up. And then she said, we probably both just synced up to another alpha. Why can't she just believe enough in our friendship to think that one of us could possibly be the alpha? But I've really been like feeling really positive, and it's all thanks to you, the audience. And I've had like a lot of struggles. Like I used to have PTSD. I still have PTSD, or as I like to think of it, not your mother's nostalgia. And I've worked like really hard for the last couple of years to be like really, really positive and healthy, and to go like I've changed therapists a couple times, which is difficult because the writers always have to reboot my origin story. And I always expected like my depression and anxiety to just go away like that, and it didn't. And I still like have panic attacks and cry all the time. Not trying to brag, and it's good to cry all the time. I gotta prove my eyelashes are real. Don't come up to me. You can come up to me. And I've been like really, really happy lately, and I owe so much of that to the audience. And it's like it was a lot of hard work too. Like I'm not saying that you all like helped me go to therapy and like do stuff. Like I struggled for like a couple years finding like the right like medications and stuff like that. And right now I'm not on any antidepressants, or as I like to think of it. Yeah. I like to think that it's emotionally raw dogging. And this is honestly like the happiest that I've ever been in my entire life, which is great, but not saying a lot. And and recently I woke up from a nightmare, and I was like, oh gosh, I had like this really intense nightmare about like there were like vampires and like really scary like demons, and I was like, phew, back to normal. Basics. Nothing creepy. So thank you all so much for being such an amazing audience, and I really appreciate you all so much. Thank you so much for being such a great crowd for the last couple of years. And I invited you all here so that we could all get married. No, I'm just kidding. Folks, I'm really excited for everybody.